Hey, what is going on my dudes, it's Epic here and welcome back to a new video on the channel, and in this video I'm going to be showing you guys my Mayhem 10 level 60 Elemental SNTNL Zane build. So let me first start off by saying that I am by no means a build master. I'm sure some of you elite gods are going to be watching this and you're going to see points into skills and you're going to break my build down and tear it up and tell me that I'm a trash build maker, and yeah, if you want to do that, go ahead. But this is just what I find to be fun for me. This is what I find works for me. I've not had any issues playing with this build. This can run pretty much anything in the game, including true takedowns. And yeah, I don't think that matters anyway because no one really does true takedowns. But the point is that this build works for me and a bunch of people have been asking for it, so here it is in this video. So while I run through Athena's and just plow through every enemy in my way, the skill tree is on screen now. You can copy that directly down into your game, or if you are on PC, then you can download this build with the link in the description. Now, this is a drone shield combo. I did have a clone drone build in the making, but that one kind of fell off. But now that clone has been buffed, I am going to be working on getting that one out to you guys really soon. This build is a variation of the clone drone build that I was working on, and yes, it does utilize multi-elements and sentinel cryo and whatnot. This is very similar to what I wanted clone drone to be, but since clone kind of fell off and then of course got buffed, it slowed down my process. So after this build I will be working on a clone drone variation, which I'm going to get out to you guys. Now, one of the main focuses for this build, which I had, which wasn't in the other builds I've made in the past, is the emphasis on speed. Now, I wasn't always a fan of people putting points into speed when it came to their builds on Zane because I just didn't think it was all that important, but I will say that since building into speed I have found that my kills on bosses have gone up by just so much more. I've just been enjoying speed on my builds as a whole now, and especially if you want to get them really one-shot quick kills like in the intro with Grave Ward, you really want to get enough speed to do that. So for that reason, violent speed for me is what gets me to that point, and yeah, I mean, it just works fantastic. There is also heavy emphasis on DLC 3 weapons in this build. I just really believe that DLC 3 weapons are insane, and if you've used them, then you'll know why. It does heavily abuse the root and every other gun in the DLC. I'm also still abusing the recursion like most people are. It works fantastic with this build, and speaking of the recursion, I want to talk about why we haven't spec'd so much into action skill duration. So because the recursion is still one of the strongest weapons in the game, to utilize that properly, of course, we all know that you want to get extra elements proccing as much as you can, but since this is not a clone drone build, proccing them extra elements is not as easy as it could be. So for this reason, I didn't spec as much into action skill duration because I actually wanted my action skills to go down as much as possible so I could keep proccing them extra elements. So does this mean that you're never going to have your action skill up? No, that's not what it means at all. You can 100% just abuse Seeing Dead if you want in order to keep your action skill up like 95% of the time, but if you want it to go down, all you simply have to do is just not kill anything, and yeah, you'll be Gucci from that point on. Now into the weapons for this build, and as always, on the bottom center of the screen you can find a weapon card telling you where to get these weapons. Be aware that most of these weapons will need to be farmed on Mayhem 6 or higher in order for them to drop. Of course, I'm talking about the Mayhem 2.0 weapons, but first of all we have a DLC 3 weapon, the Light Show. This thing will shred pretty much anything you throw in front of it, whether it's a boss or an enemy. Now, when I was first told about this weapon by Valentine, I wasn't sure on it and I didn't really like it all that much, but I really do think that once you get the right distancing to your targets, you can basically one-shot things with this thing. It's insane. Next up, of course, is the Monarch. We're still milking this cow dry, and I have one of these in Shock and Corrosive. One has Sentinel Cryo and the other one has Consec Hits. Next up, of course, I have a Recursion. If I have to explain why this is good to you, then you probably shouldn't be looking at a Mayhem 10 build, and you should probably be looking at how to beat the game in the first place. Next up, we have the Root. This is one of the newest snipers in DLC 3 and without a doubt is one of the strongest weapons in the game right now. This is how you will achieve the majority of the speed kills seen in the intro, and again, this thing can run you through pretty much any endgame activity you want it to. In the backpack, I have a proprietary license. Now, admittedly, I do not like this thing. I don't understand the hype around it. I've used it myself. I can't get it to shred things the way I see other people using it. However, I am fully 150,000% aware that people do like like this, and that's why I did get a radiation one with Sentinel Cryo for you proprietary license users. So even if you want to just download the save and yonk this thing into yours, then go ahead. Next up, I have a Reflux with Sentinel Cryo. This thing, admittedly, I don't use often, but again, there are people who do enjoy it, and I've got it in the build for that exact reason, as well as the Brainstormer. The Brainstormer is also in here for that exact same reason. Next up, I have a Miscreant. Now, this thing right here is only for light mobbing. I've definitely found that when I run it in true takedown or even up against bosses, this thing does not do as well as it could. However, I will say that this is an absolutely insane weapon and can output a crazy amount of damage, and that's why it's in the build. The multi-tap is the next weapon in this build, and this is one of them weapons which I said from the day Mayhem 2.0 release would be in my next Zane build. I literally said then it is a great weapon. No one believed me, and I mean, try it today. This thing is a mobbing beast. If you haven't used the multi-tap, you're missing out. It is legitimately one of the best mobbing pistols in the game. Speaking of the best mobbing pistols in the game, I have the Gargoyle. I just recently did a video on the Gargoyle and why it is just so crazy good. This thing again has Sentinel Cryo rolled on it, and yeah, this thing needs no introduction. Absolutely insane weapon and great for almost any scenario. Next up, I have the Flipper, an amazing SMG here. Again, another DLC 3 weapon. This will fire pretty much every element you want it to and just kill everything in its path. Next up, I have a Backburner. This will do the majority of your bossing and mobbing in the Guardian takedown. This thing, again, everyone pretty much knows what it is. It's fantastic. I have a level 60 Unkempt Herald with Sentinel Cryo on it. Now, admittedly, I would like it if this came with an element, but I'm not that fussed that it doesn't. However, this thing is really good for mobbing. Admittedly, isn't one of the best weapons in this build, but still very nice. After the recent balancing changes, the Lob is yet again one of the best shotguns in the game. This thing, once again, will run you through Slaughter Shaft with no issues in most mobbing scenarios and just shred everything. I have a level 57 Yellow Cake. Now, everyone thinks that the cartel weapons are totally useless now that the level 60 cap came out, but no, this thing still kills a lot of enemies really quick. Now, if I wasn't recording or streaming, then I would give this up to level 60 and use a level 60 version. However, I do understand that giving items up to level cap that can't get there legitimately is cheating, so that's why I've not included a 61 in this build. If you don't have a problem with save editing, then load this into a save editor, make it level 60, and just kill everything. I have a Plague Bearer at level 60. Again, I don't use this that much, however, it isn't all reliable when I have nothing else that's working. I can pull this out. It does easy mobbing, easy bossing. Very good, very nice. Now let's get into some of the relic variations before we go to the other stuff. First of all, I have a Cut Purse Rocket Boots to refill ammo. I also have a Deathless if you're a Deathless player. I know not everyone's a fan of Deathless, but if you are, then I have one in the build for you. I've also got a Hex in here. I use the Piss Grenade when I am playing normally because I like to be debuffing my enemies. However, if you are not a fan of the Piss Grenade, I do have a Merv Hex in here for you as well. Now, to get them very easy Grave Ward kills that you saw in the intro, in this build I have an Anti-Freeze. These are really good if you want to get that crazy good slide speed and just overall just insane speed and damage. This one is rolled with shotgun damage. I also have a one-shotter shield here as well. This helps a lot with them quick kills. Now, I'm not sure where you get this dropped. I'm pretty sure it's just a world drop, but I have one in this build for you anyway, so do not worry about that. And then for the final two items in this build, if these need any introduction, man, I don't know what to tell you. So I have the Seeing Dead. This thing is, I mean, again, what do you want me to tell you? This thing does not need an introduction. And then finally, I have a Transformer. Once again, if this thing needs to be introduced to you, then you need to be introduced to endgame gear as a whole, because the Transformer is just superb. Man, that took a while, but you know what? I needed to go through every piece of gear for you guys, because I know there is some people that don't understand the gear choices, and yeah, I just wanted to run through them for you, and yeah, hope you're happy with them. For all in all, that is basically my build. This is the Elemental SNTNL Zane build. Thank you to Crypto on Twitter for giving me the idea for that name. I actually really like it. I know K6 wanted balls to the wall Zane. I don't know if that was gonna fly on YouTube, but yeah. Anyway guys, I really hope you enjoyed this Zane build. If you try it out in your game, please let me know what you like about it, what could be improved about it, and I'm gonna be working on my clone drone variation of this build to share with you guys very soon. I'll also try and get a Mo's build out and a Flak build and an Amara build and all of that stuff as well, so just be patient with me. I am trying, but I'm a very busy person, so just believe me when I say that I am trying to get them out to you guys. But with that being said, you guys, I hope you're all keeping well and keeping in good spirits, treating each other kindly, and if you're enjoying the videos, be sure to slap a like on them and subscribe if you are new here. And on that note, thank you for watching and have a nice day.